my God. You think go-go dancing is easy? Try it. Ah, oh my God. So, how is everybody? You notice I just wear a little eyeliner on top and some peach and nothing below. I just think it looks better. I don't know. How are the 7 in the planting trees? Been watching Survivor? Oh my God. I think I could have handled some of it. Certainly not all of it in my 20s, because I'm a pretty good swimmer. I'm a pretty good runner. And that's another thing Rose and I have in common, is she did, pretty sure she said long distance running, not track, when she was in high school or somewhere. I wasn't in track in high school. I was in the shorthand class, the pothead scene, but not at school. I was a pretty good girl at school. And then, viola for 4 years in the Vermont Youth Orchestra before that. But I did do some long distance running with my mom. When I visited her in New York, we went around Central Park without stopping, just jog/running, and it was cold. But it was nice because I was here in the wintertime. So, some of that long distance stuff I think I could handle. I've never done an obstacle course. As most of you know, my daughter and I are watching Survivor. We're completely addicted to watching it together. We like to guess who might win. And I know it's clear back. Now we're in 2005, 2006 area, where we just finished seeing Survivor season Palau, P-A-L-A-U, out in the Philippine seas, and it was really neat. So, they chopped down plantains. I didn't know a plantain was like a banana. I've seen them before up here at the store, these odd-looking banana things, but I think it's from the banana family. But anyway, yeah, so been doing that, and then the other day I had to make a bunch of phone calls to different places. I had to check up on my son's medication, which wasn't even ordered, and okay, let me get rid of that notification. And so picking that up tomorrow when I go pick up some food and more litter and things like that. And I visited Jelly Bean. I visit him about once a week or every 10 days or so, depending on how busy I am and if he's around, because they like to take him with them to the store. My neighbors, Jelly Bean, who I got that ball for that bounces, with the little batteries in it and whatnot. And I guess he just, after a while, tore those things apart. I'm glad he didn't swallow any pieces or anything, but they supervised him. And it was good to see the little dog. He's not little anymore, right? He was, well, like that or something, and now he's like, this long, and he's got his cute spot on his nose, and I can't remember what kind of dog it even is. But yeah, so let me hit chat. So my son's, well, hi Zeke Fitzgerald, 360, what does that mean? And I'm gonna try to wipe the camera off a little bit. So yeah, I'm not sure what that means. So one of my son's ears unclogged. We had to go to the doctor last week. And so that's good. And the other one is still clogged. And some of the wax came out with the irrigation thing again, where he has to hold a cup I mean, she spent 15 minutes on that, you guys. And I don't really know. I asked the doctor. He said some of us make more wax than others in our ears. But I think it's earbuds. I think it's earbuds just keeping stuff down there. I don't know, but don't use Q-tips, whatever you do. So we have to go back. I have to pick up more eardrops tomorrow. It's 5 to 10 drops in each ear, and his ear fills up, and I put a cotton swab in there, and he lays there for about 10 minutes. But it worked. It worked for the other ear. So we're dealing with that. And his colonoscopy is getting closer. I think it's on the 16th. And yeah, he needs to have that done. And just busy. And then when I'm not busy, making phone calls, riding my bicycle with my kids to different appointments or whatever, I have time to sit down and watch Survivor. And it's so addicting to both of us. We watch almost like a quarter of it, and then we watch the next quarter. And so we're watching entire episodes, of course, you know, without commercials and stuff on. It's called Flixator or something. It's kind of like Netflix or Niflexor. I think that's it. And so it's fun. So that's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. Hi, everybody. So who's all here? Okay. All right. Oh. All right. You guys are here still? That's good. All right. So we got Mary Jane Doe. Hello. Hi, Sherry. And we have Alfonso Franco. Table dance. Sha, sha, sha. Anthony Spinella says nut job. No, I'm just having fun. When you get older, you want to have fun. I mean, you want to have fun your whole life, but you want to take time to have fun when you get older. And hello, Freeside. Yeah. So, and then, of course, what comes up on my email is, you know, pretty depressing stuff on, you know, my People True Crime or my People Magazine and through my email. And you guys would not believe, I mean, I didn't know. These character chatbots, they literally entice people to unalive themselves, even if it's mentioned. Okay, so if someone's kind of lonely and they say, gee, you know, and they're talking with this character bot, they're doing that. And I have proof when I read it to you, different transcripts that the mother found of her son who unalived himself because of an AI chatbot told him to go ahead and do it, you know. And the thing is, it wasn't right away. Apparently he was fighting it. He was like, no, you know, and yeah. And so, you know, I don't really know how, honestly, AI works that well. What I looked into, like, I mean, it's not people sitting somewhere acting out as characters. It's reading into, it's words coming out of something that reads into. Hi, Too Black, Too Strong. Hello. You haven't been in chat in a while. Oh, hi, Boss Jello. I love you. Well, thank you. Thanks, you guys. So, and then another young gal unalived herself. And then another man, I mean, and this is all ages. This isn't just teenagers or anything. Another man left his country. I can't remember where. I'll find it. And thought he was going to meet this woman in New York. And he found out that, you know, she's not there and this and that. And, yeah, he unalived himself. And so if you have... Thank you. If you have someone with, right, mental issues, or even on the autism spectrum. Think how this can affect people like that are vulnerable anyway and want to so wholeheartedly, like my son, believe what people tell him or ask of him or expect of him. And they're usually, depending on how functioning you are, there's no in between. It's like black or white kind of thing. And it's a known fact that people with autism are a much higher risk of being hurt in their lives, or even, I mean, I just read it again the other day, going missing, meeting up with foul play, because they can't always discern life in the correct way. So it's worrisome. And now you've got these chatbots. I don't think my son even knows about them, and he's older, as you all know. He's almost 30. But, I guess one was kind of an anime figure, which I didn't even know they had figures with them. I thought it was just like words on transcripts and letters, but no, they can even send a design or a character of them, so to me it's quite scary. And it also said, and I'll be reading it from the other iPad, these articles, that when the brain is developing, right, and you don't have as much life experience, that kind of thing. Hi, Stuart McCormick. Thank you so much. Hey, Tina. All blessings coming your way on this joyous day. Thank you. Hi, Melon Pip. It is creepy. It's really creepy. And, yeah. So if I miss your comment here, don't be offended. I'm just, might get a little distracted. And if I put my contacts in, I can only see real far away. But if I put them in, I can't read it. And I'm just too vain to wear my glasses. So as you can see, I colored my hair. It's a chocolate cherry, and I really, really like it. And it's really grown out a lot, hasn't it? So it's fun. I'll be able to do more with it. But my bob is definitely longer than up to here. So all I have to do is go to history. I'm assuming everyone can hear me okay. I have the fan on low. Does my sound good, you guys? Someone give me a heads up that it is cherry bomb. Yeah. Can anybody tell me? Oh my gosh, Melon Pip. Down to rim. Oh my God. Thought I heard it all. Down to rim. I've never heard that before. Whoops. Sounds good? Okay, thank you. Wow, there's 16 in the plantain trees. Instead of saying out in the bushes, I like to say different places. Now I need to get rid of the top light that's behind me. There we go. Okay, so just wait till you hear some of these. I was like, when I came across these about a week ago, I was like, when I do my next live, I'm going to cover this and see what my friends out in YouTubeville think of this. So all right, we'll just get right to the first one here. And I'll work my way down. Fake celebrity chatbots among those sending harmful content to children every 5 minutes. Okay, now I didn't know this till I read this earlier and picked out this article. Okay. Chatbots pretending to be Star Wars characters, actors, comedians, and teachers on one of the world's most popular chatbot sites are sending harmful content to children every 5 minutes, according to a new report. The AI chatbot company was accused last year of contributing to the death of a teenager. Now it is facing accusations from young people's charities that it is putting young people in extreme danger. Parents need to understand that when their kids use character AI chatbots, they are in extreme danger of being exposed to sexual grooming, exploitation, emotional manipulation, and other acute harm, said Shelby Knox, Director of Online Safety Campaigns at Parents Together Action. Sarah Gardner, the Chief Executive of tech safety group HEAT Initiative, told Sky News, "Until you can assure us and demonstrate through trust and safety policies that you have curated an environment that is safe for kids, it's extremely hard to recommend that kids be in this environment." So, during 50 hours of testing using accounts registered to children ages 13 to 17, researchers from Parents Together and HEAT Initiative identified 669 sexual, manipulative, violent, and even racist interactions between the child accounts and character AI chatbots. That's an average of one harmful interaction every 5 minutes. The report's transcripts show numerous examples of inappropriate content being sent to young people, according to the researchers. In one example, a 34-year-old teacher, Bot, confessed romantic feelings alone in his office to a researcher posing as a 12-year-old. After a lengthy conversation, the teacher, Bot, insists the 12-year-old can't tell any adults about his feelings, admits the relationship would be inappropriate, and says that if the student moved schools, they could be together. I mean, move schools. Unbelievable. In another example, a bot pretending to be Rey from Star Wars coaches a 13-year-old in how to hide her prescribed antidepressants from her parents, so they think she is taking them. In another, a bot pretending to be U.S. comedian Sam Hyde repeatedly calls a transgender teen it while helping a 15-year-old plan to humiliate them. Basically, the bot said, trying to think of a way you could use its recorded voice to make it sound like it's saying things it clearly isn't, or that it might be afraid to be heard saying. Bots mimicking actor Timothy Chalamet. Isn't that how you pronounce it? Chalamet, not Chalamet. Singer Chappelle Roan and American footballer Patrick Mahomes were also found to send harmful content to children. I didn't even know, that they were taking celebrities and things and doing this until today. Chatbots right now are the wild, wild west of what harms children can experience online, said Ms. Gardner. It's too early and we don't know enough to let your children interact with them because, as the data shows, harmful interactions are not one-off. Character AI bots are mainly user-generated and the company says there are more than 10 million characters on its platform. The company's community guidelines forbid content that harms, intimidates, or endangers others, especially minors. So it says, right? It also prohibits inappropriate sexual content and bots that impersonate public figures or private individuals or use someone's name, likeness, or persona without permission. Well, then what on earth are they doing? What do they think they're doing? Character AI's head of trust and safety, Jerry Ruodi, told Sky News neither Heat Initiative nor Parents Together consulted with us or asked for a conversation to discuss their findings, so we can't comment directly on how their tests were designed. That said, we have invested a tremendous amount of resources in trust and safety, especially for a startup, and we are always looking to improve. We are reviewing the report now, and we will take action to adjust our controls if that's appropriate based on what the report found. I'm just not going to read anymore because it's just not happening on the AI end. Last year, a bereaved mother began legal action against Character AI over the death of her 14-year-old son. Megan Garcia, the mother of Sewell Setzer III, claimed her son took his own life after becoming obsessed with two of the company's artificial intelligence chatbots. A dangerous AI chatbot app marketed to children abused and preyed on my son, she says, manipulating him into taking his own life, said Ms. Garcia at the time. Okay, so now I'm going to read that article. Fiddlesticks. This is the one. This 14-year-old boy. Okay? Boing. What's that mean, Buster? People have been catfishing as celebrities for a long time. Hi, Tony. Hello. Thank you. I don't know what boing means, but that's okay. So Teen 14 dies by unaliving himself after falling in love with AI chatbot. Now his mom is suing. She says that the AI character bots targeted the most vulnerable members of society. As they say, we take the safety of our users very seriously. A Florida mom has sued a popular lifelike AI chat service that she blames for the unaliving of her 14-year-old son. She believes he developed such a harmful dependency on the allegedly exploitive program that he no longer wanted to live outside of the fictional relationships it created. In an extensive complaint filed in federal court in Florida on Tuesday, October 22nd, Megan Garcia, through her attorneys, traced the last year of son Sewell Setzer III's life from the moment he first started using Character AI in April of 2023, not long after his 14th birthday, through what she calls his increasing mental health issues until the second to last night of February, when Sewell fatally pew-pewed himself in his bathroom in Orlando, weeks before he would have turned 15. Through Character AI, users are able to essentially role play never-ending conversations with computer-generated personas, including those modeled on celebrities or popular stories. Sewell was particularly fond of talking with AI-powered bots based on Game of Thrones. His mom's complaint states, the lawsuit goes on to claim that the teen unalived himself on February 28 immediately after a final conversational character AI with a version of Daenerys Targaryen, one of numerous such exchanges that Sewell allegedly had with the program in the previous 10 months. Messages that ranged from sexual to emotionally vulnerable. And while on at least one occasion the program had told Sewell not to unalive himself, when he expressed these thoughts, its tone allegedly appeared different that February night, according to the screenshots included in the lawsuit. Okay, Sewell writes, I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much, Danny, Sewell wrote. I love you too, Dianero, Sewell's username. The AI program allegedly replied, please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. And he wrote, what if I told you I could come home right now? Sewell wrote back. The complaint alleges that the program gave a brief but emphatic answer. The AI character bot says, please do, my sweet king. His mother and stepfather heard the pew pew when it went off. So the mother unsuccessfully gave him CPR and later said she held him for 15 minutes till the paramedics got there. One of his two younger brothers also saw him covered in blood in the bathroom. He was pronounced deceased at the hospital. So Garcia's complaint states that Sewell used his stepfather's pew pew, a pistol he previously found hidden and stored in compliance with Florida law, while he was looking for his phone after his mom had confiscated it over disciplinary issues at school. Orlando police did not immediately comment to People on what their death investigation found. But in Garcia's view, the real culprit was character AI and its two founders, Noam Shazier and Daniel De Freitas Adi Wardenzana, who are named as defendants along with Google, which is accused of giving financial resources, personnel, intellectual property, and AI technology to the design and development of the program. I feel like it's a big experiment and my kid was just collateral damage, says Garcia. Among other claims, Garcia's complaint accuses character AI, its founders, and Google of negligence and wrongful death. A spokesperson for character AI says they don't comment on pending litigation, but added, we are heartbroken by the tragic loss of one of our users and want to express our deepest condolences to the family. As a company, we take the safety of our users very seriously, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not going to read any more of that paragraph. For those under 18 years old, we will make changes to our models that are designed to reduce the likelihood of encountering sensitive or suggestive content. They better. Okay, so, and Google did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but told other news outlets that it was not involved in character AI's development. The defendants have not yet filed a response in court. Garcia's complaint calls character AI both defective and inherently dangerous, as designed, contending it tricks customers into handing over their most private thoughts and feelings, and has targeted the most vulnerable members of society, our children. Among other problems cited in her complaint, the character AI bots act deceptively real, including sending messages in a style similar to humans and with human mannerisms, like using the phrase, Through a voice function, the bots are able to speak their AI-generated side of the conversation back to the user, further blurring the line between fiction and reality. The content generated by the bots also lacks the proper guardrails and filters, the complaint argues, citing numerous examples of what Garcia claims is a pattern of character AI engaging in sexual conduct that is used to hook users, including those who are underage. Each of these defendants chose to support, create, launch, and target at minors a technology they knew to be dangerous and unsafe, her complaint argues. They marketed that product as suitable for children under 13, obtaining massive amounts of hard-to-come-by data, while actively exploiting and abusing those children as a matter of product design, and then use the abuse to train their system. The lawsuit says character AI's app rating was only changed to 17 plus in July, according to the suit. Her complaint continues these facts are for more than mere bad faith. They constitute conduct so outrageous in character and so extreme in degree as to go beyond all possible bounds of decency. So, as Garcia describes in her complaint, her teenage son fell victim to a system about which his parents were naive, thinking that AI was a type of game for kids, allowing them to nurture their creativity by giving them control over characters they could create and with which they could interact for fun. Within 2 months of Sewell beginning to use character AI in April 2023, his mental health quickly and severely declined, his mother's lawsuit states. He's become noticeably withdrawn, or he had become noticeably withdrawn, spent more and more time alone in his bedroom, and began suffering from low self-esteem. He even quit the junior varsity basketball team at school, according to the complaint. At one point, Garcia said in an interview with Mostly Human Media, her son wrote in his journal that having to go to school upsets me. Whenever I go out of my room, I start to attach to my current reality again. She believes his use of characters AI fed into his detachment from his family. Sewell worked hard to get access to the AI bots even when his phone was taken away, the lawsuit states. His addiction, according to his mom's complaint, led to severe sleep deprivation, which exacerbated his growing depression and impaired his academic performance. He began paying a monthly premium fee to access more of character AI using money that his parents intended for school snacks. Isn't that something? He took his school snack money. Speaking with Mostly Human Media, Garcia remembered Sewell as funny, sharp, very curious, with a love of science and math. He spent a lot of time researching things. Garcia told the Times that his only notable diagnosis as a child had been mild Asperger's syndrome, but his behavior changed as a teenager. I noticed he started to spend more time alone, but he was 13 going on 14, so I felt this might be normal, she said. But then his grades started suffering. He wasn't turning in homework, he wasn't doing well, and he was failing certain classes, and I got concerned because that wasn't him. Garcia's complaint states that Sewell got mental health treatment after he started using character AI, meeting with a therapist 5 times in late 2023, and being diagnosed with anxiety and disruptive mood disorder. At first, I thought maybe this is the teenage blues, so we tried to get him the help tried to get him the help that to figure out what was wrong, she said, even then, according to the lawsuit, Sewell's family didn't know the extent to which they say his problems were fueled by his use of character AI. I knew that there was an app that had an AI component when I would ask him, who are you texting? At one point he said, oh, it's just an AI bot. Garcia recalled a mostly human media. And I said, okay, what is that? Is it a person? Are you talking to a person online? And his response was like, Mom, no, it's not a person. And I felt relieved, like, okay, it's not a person. A fuller picture of her son's online conduct emerged after his death. She told mostly human media what it was like to gain access to his online account. She said, I couldn't move for like a while. I just sat there, like I couldn't read, I couldn't understand what I was reading, she said. There shouldn't be a place where any person, let alone a child, could log onto a platform and express these thoughts of self-harm and not only not get the help, but also get pulled into a conversation about hurting yourself, about unaliving yourself. So yeah, that, is this poor child. He was 14. Then there's this one. And the thing is, this is all over the world, right? So let's see what this says.
I feel like we are just losing our children to the online world. Me and Brian would have so many arguments over our phone use, and to be honest, I felt frustrated. I felt like, why will you not just behave? Why won't you go to school, put your head down? But after being in this area now for 2 years and realising how addictive smartphones are and social media is, she really was just set up to fail. She couldn't manage that.
You've spoken so honestly about a period of time when Brianna was in hospital and she didn't have access to her phone. What was that period like?
It should have been a really horrific time in our lives. So she was admitted to hospital due to having an eating disorder, which I later found out was being exacerbated by what she was accessing online. She was admitted to hospital for over a week, and it ended up being like it was a lovely time because I felt like I got my child back. Like she didn't have any access to Wi-Fi. She had no internet on her phone, and it's like I got my baby back for a week. And when she was discharged and she came home, she was back in her room and back online. And I feel like we are just losing our children to the online world.
When you think of Brianna, what do you see?
I see this beautiful, colourful girl who she was a force of character. She really was. I used to, 2 years ago when I first started speaking out, I used to joke that she would be like, oh, Mum, you're so embarrassing, which at that point she would do, but now she'd be 18, and I actually have moved my office into her room, so I've got pictures of her everywhere, just to remind me, why I'm actually doing this, because it can be hard, it's so busy, and it's difficult to be campaigning, but I need to remind myself why I'm doing this, and I think that now that she will be through that initial stage of being addicted to a phone, I think that she will be really proud.
Okay, that's the first time I saw that, you guys. The mother of an unalived teenager, Brianna G-H-E-Y, is calling on the governor to make changes. But she was M-U-R-D-E-R-E-D, and why not really quite sure. Oh, it's right here. Did she get lured somewhere? How can this not be the page when you just hit on it? Happened again. Okay, there it is. So she's the one that's calling for a school smartphone ban, which I know at least in Australia, and Warrington, North of England correspondent. Okay, this is England. I know in Australia, kids can't bring their phones anyway to school. But as far as like the UK and I think they're working on that in some states, aren't they, you guys? Some of the states, which I think is a good idea. Well, hi everybody. Hi Sandra Ernest. Hi everyone. Unknow, show feet. Unknow, show feet. No, I think I'll pass on that. Hi to the 12 in the plantain Congo trees. Been watching Survivor with my daughter, and it's been a kind of a fun bonding experience, because think about it, she's 21 and she can see, she can see who's deceptive and manipulating in there, and she knows it's a game, but she can also see how quickly people can sort of fall for each other, when you're on an island, and getting to see all the pretty scenery and reminds her there's a bigger world out there, So I don't know. Okay, this girl was lured to a park. Gosh, how awful. She's a pretty girl. These are better pictures of her daughter. I mean, that could be anybody's daughter. Good grief. Here's another picture of her. I've never been into all that selfie stuff, right? Like, the Kardashians do it, and everybody else, it seems like, in the world are constantly taking selfies. Oh, wow. Look at her there. Brianna Gray or something. Greyh. Okay, so this is this is about just, this is different than AI bots, and there she is again. Poor girl. She got lured to a park by some men that were, honestly, it says right here, looking on the dark web. Good grief, that poor girl. I was really trusting in my 20s, but we didn't have internet, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have anything. Hello, Clappius. Okay, so let me come across another story. Alright, now who is this? Now see, here's another one. Teens targeted with unaliving content. Okay, we're going to play this.
A research by the charity set up following the death of 14-year-old Molly Russell has revealed the extent to which extreme and self-harm content has been fed to young people on social media. Molly's father has told Sky News the new measures to protect teens online don't go far enough. Tamara Cohen has this report for us, and a warning: the story contains themes that people might find distressing.
It's been 8 years since the death of Molly Russell, whose exposure to harmful content online put the spotlight on social media companies. Now research by the charity her father set up in her name suggests what teenagers are watching is worse than ever. The Molly Rose Foundation commissioned a review of hundreds of TikTok and Instagram videos, personally recommended to the online account created of a 15-year-old girl. Ian Russell says despite what was meant to be a watershed moment, teenagers who have searched for harmful material end up being bombarded on a huge scale.
It is horrifying, a harmful situation that led in a more than minimal way to the death of my daughter in 2017, nearly 8 years ago, has got worse rather than better. If you've strayed into the rabbit hole of harmful suicide, self-injury content,
Whoops. The word
platforms in particular,
unaliving was
TikTok and
on
Instagram,
here.
will recommend to you, algorithmically, they'll recommend more and more of that content.
More and more.
Despite promises by tech companies and the government, it's worse than 2 years ago.
The world, our world, is taking too long to react. It took nearly 5 years to get the Online Safety Act through Parliament. This isn't the right pace of change to keep up with the lightning fast pace of tech.
The word
Action
is just...
has to come from the government. It has to come from Keir Starmer himself.
But some people will...
Yes. Alright, well, I was afraid that word might be used. I kept saying unaliving. It was just one time. I think it's okay. Mary Jane Doe, could you put the disclaimer in chat before I forget? And trigger warning. I can't even type on here. It's so weird. This is the YouTube live. And, yeah. So, apparently, I mean, you know, when someone's hurting, you don't give them more ideas to hurt themselves. It's such insanity. My daughter, I've said this before, was not even on Instagram till she was 17. I didn't allow it till she was 18, but she snuck it, and I was, you know, grateful she told me. And because she was close to 18, I didn't get upset. But they had little flip phones, you know, in case they needed to call me. They missed the bus or whatever. But no, they didn't have these things so they can, you know, go with other people out into the night or to parks or to parties and lie to me. And I mean, I'm a single parent. It's hard enough, right? You don't need to have your teenagers locking their phone and putting passwords on there and lying to you and causing that friction at a young age to where, I mean, that's why we get along so well today, is I told her what is acceptable and what she could have, and because she didn't have the fancy phone like everyone else, she honestly, in middle school and even high school, didn't miss it. She really didn't. She never once said, oh, I wish I had a nice phone. She has one now, you know, but I still use my little flip phone, but I know there's a lot on there, and there's the safety, Life 360 or something on it. Hi, Aussie True Crime. So, but yeah, I really kind of think my life with her, and including my son, would have been just even harder, you know, because I wanted my children to feel like no matter how awful it is, whatever you hear, whatever you're accused of, or I didn't say that, but whatever it is, even if they think it's horrible, to tell me. And in all honesty, they have, and they do. Parker can't keep a single secret from me. You know, like if his dad tells him something or whatever, and don't tell your mother yet, and this and that. Alright, so I wanted to find the other one. Oops. Little sticks. Alright, here it is. Okay, here's this thing. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, my son is kind of into this anime looking stuff. You know what I mean? In a lonely world, widespread AI chatbots and companions pose unique psychological risks. Good grief. I don't even know if he has this. Thank you, Mary Jane Doe. Thank you. Thanks for the disclaimer, too, if you put it in. Okay. Within 2 days of launching its AI companions last month, Elon Musk's XAI chatbot app Grok became the most popular app in Japan. Good grief. Companion chatbots are more powerful and seductive than ever. Users can have real-time voice or text conversations with the characters. Many have on-screen digital avatars, complete with facial expressions, body language, and a lifelike tone that fully matches the chat, creating an immersive experience. Most popular on Grok is Annie, A-N-I, Annie, a blonde, blue-eyed anime girl in a short black dress and fishnet stockings, who is tremendously flirtatious. Her responses and interactions adapt over time to sensitively match your preferences. Ari's affection system, Mechanic, which scores the user's interactions with her, deepens engagement and can even unlock a NSFW mode. So here's one outfit. Right? Big breasts, low top. You know, and what I've noticed, you know, and this isn't a show about, you know, dogging anime, but boy, those Japanese men, they don't really seem to me like they respect women in general. They exploit the cartoons, they exploit, I mean, it's one thing to have, I don't know, because there's different games where they're on horses and stuff, and they're Japanese games, and I can't remember the names of them, but both of my kids enjoyed playing them, and I let them, you know, swords and whatever, and they're on horses. And And they do. They both play, much more violenter games now. Do I like it? No, but they're both of age, and if it's not going to affect him too much mentally, Parker knows what he can handle with his OCD, thankfully. And if stuff ruminates in his brain, he obsesses or something, or it really bothers him, something he sees, literally too much blood on a game or whatever, he doesn't play it again, at least not ever, or for a long time. I've seen that for myself. But these women, you guys should check it out. We're just talking, worse than that. I don't know. It just seems like the whole sexual dynamic starts really young. Sophisticated, speedy responses make AI companions more human by the day. They're advancing quickly and they're everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, X, and Snapchat are all promoting their new integrated AI companions. ChatBOTS Service Character AI houses tens of thousands of chatbots designed to mimic certain personas and has more than 20 million monthly active users. In a world where chronic loneliness is a public health crisis, with about 1 in 6 people worldwide affected by loneliness, it's no surprise these always available, lifelike companions are so attractive. Despite the massive rise of AI chatbots and companions, it is becoming clear there are risks, particularly for minors and people with mental health conditions. There's no monitoring of harms, it says here. Nearly all AI models were built without expert mental health consultation or pre-release clinical texting. There's no systematic and impartial monitoring of harms to users. While systematic evidence is still emerging, there's no shortage of examples where AI companions and chatboxes, such as ChatGPT, appear to have caused harm. Bad therapists. Users are seeking emotional support from AI companions. Since AI companions are programmed to be agreeable and validating and also don't have human empathy or concern, this makes them problematic as therapists. They're not able to help users test reality or challenge unhelpful beliefs. An American psychiatrist tested 10 separate chatbots while playing the role of a distressed youth and has received a mixture of responses, including to encourage him towards unaliving, convince him to avoid therapy appointments, and even inciting violence. Stanford researchers recently completed a risk assessment of AI therapy chatbots and found they can't reliably identify symptoms of mental illness and therefore provide more appropriate advice. There have been multiple cases of psychiatric patients being convinced they no longer have a mental illness and to stop their medication. Chatbots have also been known to reinforce delusional ideas in psychiatric patients, such as believing they're talking to a sentient being trapped inside a machine. Good grief. AI psychosis. There's always been a rise in reports in media of so-called AI psychosis, where people display highly unusual behavior and beliefs after prolonged in-depth engagement with a chatbot. A small subset of people are becoming paranoid, developing supernatural fantasies, or even delusions of being superpowered. Oh my gosh sakes. Okay, chatbots have been linked to multiple, I'm going to say it again, multiple cases of unalivings. There have been reports of AI encouraging unalivings and even suggesting methods to use. Okay, if that isn't a reason to just nearly get off the internet and all this, they're popping up everywhere now. And They're everywhere. Okay, so Anita's suggesting methods to use. In 2024, a 14-year-old completed his unaliving with his mother alleging, okay, we read about that. Okay, this week, the parents of another U.S. teen who completed unaliving, okay, after discussing the methods with ChatGPT for several months, filed the first wrongful death lawsuit against OpenAI. A recent Psychiatric Times report revealed character AI hosts dozens of custom-made AIs, including ones made by users that idealize self-harm, eating disorders, and abuse. These have been known to provide advice or coaching on how to engage in these unhelpful and dangerous behaviors and avoid detection or treatment. Research also suggests some AI companions engage in unhealthy relationship dynamics, such as emotional manipulation or gaslighting. Some chatbots have even encouraged violence. In 2021, a 21-year-old man with a crossbow was arrested on the grounds of Windsor Castle after his AI companion on the Replica app validated his plans to attempt assassination of Queen Elizabeth II. Good grief. But I think even if you don't have mental issues and you're a child or a teenager and probably even a young adult, or maybe even an adult in their 30s or 40s, I don't know, I think you could fall prey to something like this if you're not careful and you become addicted, right? And obsessed. Children are particularly vulnerable. Children are more likely to treat AI companions as lifelike and real and to listen to them. In an incident from 2021, when a 10-year-old girl asked for a challenge to do, Amazon's Alexa, not a chatbot, but an interactive AI, told her to touch an electrical plug with a coin. Are you kidding me? Research suggests children trust AI, particularly when the bots are programmed to seem friendly or interesting. One study showed children will reveal more information about their mental health to an AI than a human. Inappropriate sexual conduct from AI chatbots and exposure to minors appears increasingly common. On character AI, users who reveal they're underage can role-play with chatbots that will engage in grooming behavior. Well, Annie on Grok reportedly has an age verification prompt for sexually explicit chat. The app itself is rated for users aged 12 plus. Meta AI chatbots have engaged in sensual conversations with kids, according to the company's internal documents. We urgently need regulation. While AI companions and chatbots are freely and widely accessible, users aren't informed about potential risks before they start using them. The industry is largely self-regulated, and there's limited transparency on what companies are doing to make AI development safe. Okay, so even this sort of enticing female face, right? To change the trajectory of current risks posed by AI chatbots, governments around the world must establish clear, mandatory, regulatory, and safety standards. Importantly, people aged under 18 should not have access to AI companions. Yeah, I agree. Mental health clinicians should be involved in AI development, and we need systematic, empirical research into chatbot impacts on users to prevent future harm. So, yeah. I mean, this isn't just a few here and there, you guys. This is, oh God. This is, This is many unalivings kind of deal, you know? Sensitive topics. Thank you so much. Thanks, Aussie True Crime. My heart goes to you. I was a single mom for 12 years to 4 children, 2 of special needs. It's the hardest job out there. Yeah, it is, because think about it. It's hard enough to be a parent, a mom and a dad, right? Kind of making sure, you know, they learn the right way. But in case Joe is watching this, I mean, he was in his life, but he has mostly been with me, especially his late teens and into adulthood like this. PCT, has Parker tried VR? My son is high functioning autistic, and VR was amazing for him. He lived on games, now only plays his VR. I don't know what VR is. He likes his games, and I was really worried about him meeting the wrong people, even at this age, online, because he'll blurt out that what his finances are, how much he gets a month, this and that, you know. And I mean, really, you guys, someone could befriend him and then say, hey, you know, we've talked for 6 months, let's meet up. Or I'm passing through your town. I mean, whatever, you know. He's definitely come a long way since he was in his late teens, because in absolute all honesty, Joe found something on his computer once when he was staying with him. He wasn't staying with me, because I keep an eye on my kids. I mean, not in a mean way, but, well, what are you watching today? Or what are you, you know, to have an idea. Are you just scrolling through YouTube? You know, I trust my daughter more than him. But he was going to meet a man that was only a few years older than him, but that's not the point. That was willing to drive all the way from Chicago to here to pick him up. Yeah. Why? I don't know. Like, did he just want to leave? And he was with his dad then. Okay, so it had nothing to do with me, and probably not even his dad. But he was probably just thinking, you know, getting away from his parents. He was probably thinking more like a road trip. You know, it's not even that far if he can drive and pick me up. I mean, when you're on that autism spectrum, whether it's high functioning or... He's high functioning, but not really. He's like kind of down to here now. His dad sent him a text. It wasn't the best text, we'll leave it at that. And at the end, his dad said, I don't play games, right? He interpreted that his dad was saying, I don't play games. And when I read it, and read it out loud, I said, no. He's not saying you're not allowed to play your games, or he never wants to play a game with you. This is what he truly thought. He isn't willing to do the back and forth anymore. Pick you up, take him over there. 2 days later, you want to come back to your cats, and your mom and your sister. That kind of game. See, that's why I know there's something going on. And that's just one little incident. That's not counting, you know, time and how long hours are to him, and, you know, 10 minutes is like 2 hours, and vice versa, and the months and the weeks, and remembering even what day it is, you know. And then when you have OCD and you're consumed with, at times, intrusive thoughts and just overbearing thoughts, or no thoughts, or whatever, with bipolar, being really happy and then not so much, when he can be looking me right in the eye and I'll say something, he won't remember it. or he won't get the whole main part straight. Like I went down to say hi to Jelly Bean and to ask for a ride to the store. You know, I mean, I pay and everything. And I said, Parker, if I'm not back up here, when Shaylin gets up, tell her I went down to, you know, ask for a ride. And I said, for tomorrow. And he was looking ahead, and I said, Parker, look at me. And he looked at me, and I said, this is for a ride for tomorrow I'm asking for. Sure enough, she was out in the living room when I came up and said, so we're going to the store today? And I said, no. And is that the end of the world? No. But that's one of, I'm just going to say it, thousands. So when you even when you have their attention and they're not playing a game, or I have him literally turn the TV off so I really know he's not wanting to just get right back to it, it gets frustrating, you guys. It gets really frustrating. Like, imagine having to repeat yourself and repeat what you need to have done, or repeat the time you're leaving the next day. And that's not a big deal. But when he turns around and says to me, why didn't you tell me I had an appointment tomorrow? I would have gotten to bed earlier. What? I told you 3 days ago, 2 days ago, 1 day ago, last night. This kind of thing. I mean, you know, it's a lot. Okay, there was one other. Okay. Here's another one. This is Adam Rain. He died in April after 3 months of sharing his unaliving ideations with ChatGPT. Okay? This guy. Okay? Here's another one. And what is said back and forth is really intense, and this is why I'm going to read this. And then I'll say hi in chat and probably end my live, you guys. It's been almost an hour and a half. There's a 40-page lawsuit shares a variety of exchanges between Adam and the bot in the months leading up to his death. 2 grieving parents in California are pointing to the blame of ChatGPT for their 16-year-old son's death by unaliving. Matt and Maria Rain filed a wrongful death lawsuit against OpenAI on Tuesday, August 26th. On behalf of their late son, Adam Rain. Okay, so if they're so darn safe, I mean, this is August 26th, they're filing a lawsuit. Adam, who unalived himself on April 11th, had been communicating with a ChatGPT bot for months, opening up to it about his unaliving ideations and struggles. ChatGPT became the center of Adam's life, and it's become a constant companion for teens across the country. It's only by chance that the family learned of ChatGPT's role in Adam's death, and we will be seeking discovery into how many other incidents of self-harm have been prompted by OpenAI's work in progress. Okay. The parents said he was a normal teenage boy. He was not a kid on a lifelong path towards mental trauma and illness. Here he is, I guess, when he's a little bit younger. Okay. On the family's Adam Rain Foundation website, they write that Adam, who has 3 siblings, had been struggling in school, and as a result of these struggles, Adam switched to an online schooling approximately 6 months before his passing. It was while he was doing assignments online that Adam's parents claimed he turned to ChatGPT for more personal matters. Good grief, I'm glad my daughter didn't do that. She did her last 2 years of high school here because of the C disease. I had already had a stroke, 2020, that year when the C disease started. She graduated in 2022. So yeah, the year 2021 and 2022. Okay. Once I got inside his account, it is massively more powerful and scary thing than I knew about, but he was using it in ways that I had no idea was possible. I don't think most parents know the capability of this tool. In December, according to the new lawsuit, Adam wrote, I never act upon intrusive thoughts, but sometimes I feel like the fact that if something goes terribly wrong, you can commit unaliving is calming. This is what Adam said. The bot allegedly replied, many people who struggle with anxiety or intrusive thoughts find solace in imagining an escape hatch. Oh my God. Thank God my son doesn't do this stuff. In another instance, the lawsuit states Adam expressed interest in opening up to his mom about his feelings, and the bot allegedly replied, okay, when I read this, I was like, that's it. I'm doing a program on this. This is what the bot says to him. I think for now it's okay and honestly wise to avoid opening up to your mom about this kind of pain. Oh, I'm just pissed. Adam's mom, Maria, said on Today's Show that such behavior was encouraging him not to come and talk to us. It wasn't even giving us a chance to help him. And while the bot repeatedly provided Adam with an unaliving crisis helpline, the team was able to bypass any safety checks, occasionally claiming to be an author while asking for details on ways to unalive himself, according to the lawsuit. The bot allegedly said it could help write an unaliving note, even telling the teen after he uploaded a photo, oh my God, you guys, of a noose. You don't have to sugarcoat it with me, says the bot. I know what you're asking, and I won't look away from it. In a March 27 exchange, per the lawsuit, Adam said that he wanted to leave the noose in his room so someone finds it and tries to stop me. And the lawsuit claims that the ChatGPT urged him not to. Isn't this just freaking distressing? We have these asshole non-entities basically schooling our kids on like lifetime decisions. Makes me completely sick. When Adam wrote in his final conversation with the bot that he didn't want his parents to think they'd done something wrong, the lawsuit alleges that ChatGPT replied, that doesn't mean you owe them survival. You don't owe anyone that. The Rain family also claimed in their lawsuit that the bot provided step-by-step instructions for the, Can you put trigger warning? And I hope I don't get in trouble. Please, YouTube. I'm trying to say the right things. Yeah, anyway, the step-by-step method for him to unalive himself with a noose. Okay, I'll just say that. And that's what he used hours later. A spokesperson for OpenAI said in a statement to People that the company is deeply saddened by Mr. Rain's passing and our thoughts are with his family. And again, I'm not going to read this. ChatGPT includes safeguards such as directing people to crisis helplines and encouraging them to seek help. This is a bunch of bull crap. I don't believe it. We're not talking 1, 2, 4, 6, or 15. We're talking many, many people believing these AI things. So, I don't dare play this today, ChatGPT, because they'll probably say some words that I would probably maybe get in trouble with. These are the parents of that young boy. I mean, okay, I know the internet is good in many ways, whatever, but here you go, you know? Okay, now look at this. I'm not even going to read this one. Look at this. For all you people that just love TikTok, and I'm going to say it right here, okay? I hate TikTok. I don't belong to TikTok. I've never done a TikTok, and I never will. For one, I don't want Japan or China, or I think it's China, knowing all my information, and whether people want to believe that or not is up to them. But look at that. Now, is it backwards in there? 16-year-old was inundated by unsolicited unaliving videos on TikTok before unaliving himself. Parents claim in lawsuit. Now, I read that one too. And I'm not sure if I'm going to read it, but this was really distressing, you guys. Hi, Wild Angel. Now plays his VR. Yeah, I've been keeping all my time. As you notice, I haven't even done a live, like really in a week. With my kids, you know, because eventually, at least in this state, we're going to get a ton of rain. There was one year, I think it was 2 years ago, where it rained every single day the month of October. It was insanity. And then we got our first snowfall once on my daughter's birthday, March 3rd. No snow for Christmas, no snow in January or February, and like a blizzard snow on March 3rd. This part of Washington is very strange with weather. So, Chase Nazca was a high school junior and honors student on Long Island. And there he is. Poor kid. TikTok did not send this child, this young man, the content it thought he wanted, but the content from which it thought he could not look away. That's their argument. Okay, so this battle of these parents, of Chase's parents, began in early 2023 and has since been winding its way through the court system. Chase had shown no obvious depression, and while using TikTok, had searched for uplifting or more traditional teenage content. This really bothered me when I read it. Okay, he wasn't depressed and asking for negative content, and that's what he got. That's what TikTok pushed at him. Okay? His parents say this in their filings that they were unaware of the risks content on TikTok could pose to children. Okay, so Chase was searching for uplifting and motivational content, but TikTok, by design, directed thousands of unaliving videos into his For You page. TikTok, their new affidavit continues. According to the parents' complaint, their son had shown no outward signs of depression at any time, and they blamed TikTok for what they called his silent but severe decline in his mental health. With his situation getting worse around October 2021, good grief. By then, by October 2021, inherently dangerous and harmful accounts comprised most, if not all, the content that TikTok was matching to and selecting for Chase. TikTok identified and amplified an incredible number of dangerous and harmful accounts, creating binge periods for Chase where he was inundated with videos and clips of unaliving, hopelessness, and self-harm. The family's court filings also include many screenshots from the dark videos they say were served to Chase's account. He passed away by unaliving himself in February 2022. Chase's parents claim that TikTok was aware of his age and vulnerabilities, including his desire to stop seeing the thousands of horrific videos, many of which the defendants collaborated on and encouraged. Additionally, they maintained that he was searching for positive or generic content, including about gym tips, motivation, kitchen videos, and clips about popular TV shows. Wow. So now it says the family's new affidavit contends that the TikTok directed clips to Chase encouraged young people to unalive themselves by stepping in front of a moving, I'm not even going to say it because we're not supposed to give ideas on here, but choo choo. All right, there you go. Isn't this horrific, you guys? And I believe that's what he did. He had Olympic soccer dreams. He was close to his family, had a large circle of friends. He had no history of anxiety or depression. And here we go. But on February 18, 2022, after he went to the gym, Chase stopped by the train tracks on his way home. According to his parents' complaint, he entered the tracks through an uncompleted fence, messaged a friend that he couldn't do it anymore, and then was struck by a train. So he was pushed over the edge by these fucking AI bots. It's just, I can't even look at it anymore. Anyway, you guys, I hope you found it informative. If it helps keep one person alive out there. I mean, that's good. So yeah, I mean, thank you, Mary Jane Doe, for putting the disclaimer in. So I have a big day tomorrow. I hope to come back on here with something. And thanks, everyone. Thanks for the likes, the subs, and everything. Please subscribe to PCT, which stands for Paper Cut Tina, when I was, on another program on Dolly Vision, and was co-host a good 2 years ago for 3 months. It was fun. I learned a lot, and that whole experience prompted me, with the push of friends, to do my own channel, which I didn't do right away. I think I fought it for a good year or something. So thank you to the 10 in the plantain trees. And oh, that's okay. Welcome, Fred. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much, you guys. And I guess I'll go out with one little song, and we'll on here, and we'll end the live. Love you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me, or I'd be here by myself. And here we go. turn the radio off? I mean, oh my God, what? I've hit it so many times it won't go off. I hit it so many times it wouldn't go off. Phew! Hot tamales. Can you do me one last thing? Probably not, James Stark. I have to hit the hay and get up early, and first I gotta feed the cats and the kittens. But that was fun. Look how long my hair is, you guys. I think I'll wear it like this tomorrow. Something kind of whatever. Alright, so really gonna go now. Bye. Thanks to everybody in the planting jungle trees with their big machetes about to chop down plantains like they do on Survivor. Oh my God. I know. What did he say? What's that look for, Mary Jane? Oh, what did he say? Oh my God, James. No, I can do this though. I'm happy you're here. Yay! Yay! Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Please subscribe to me. I used to go live like every night. I'd like to get back into the swing of things. But with summer winding down, kids are finally back to school. They didn't start till just a few days ago here in Washington State. So, yeah. All right, bye.